Hey guys, let's take a look at a custom Thomas Wooden Railway character that only appeared in the Railway series. This, for lack of a better term, we'll just call him the ULP van. And a lot of other Thomas Wooden Railway YouTubers out there have made this custom because it's pretty simple. But I want to give a shout out to TurtlesAndThomas for making this one for me. He made one that he used in his own series and it looks very similar to this one. Although if you do go watch his 45-second video, you'll notice a few differences, but for the most part, it's relatively unchanged. So, the ULP van, like I said, was just a Railway series character. He appeared in the background of a very famous picture from, I believe it's, man, let me think. I believe it's of Toad Stands By. It's this famous picture of Duck and Oliver glaring down the trucks. That's where we get to see Scruffy for the first time, although he looks very different in the Railway series compared to his TV series counterpart. That's where we also get Fred Pelhay, who did in fact receive a wooden railway model that was sold for a number of years. There's also a teal truck in that picture, and while a lot of people, myself included, like to think that that is rickety, apparently nowadays people are saying that's not rickety. I don't know how you can tell. It's just kind of one of those things you just kind of have to decide it is or decide it's not. But anyway, there's basically a whole variety of different troublesome trucks hanging out there, and one of the trucks that kind of grabs your attention right away is this bright pink ULP van. And the reason he grabs your attention is because he's taller than all of the other trucks around him. I guess you would kind of call him maybe like the first version of Hector, because he's really tall, although you know he doesn't look like him obviously. But when I'm looking at the picture off to the side now, and if I remember, I will hopefully provide a link to the picture that I'm talking about here. But you know, you see Duck and Oliver in the background. They're looking really angry at the trucks. Then you see Scruffy and you're kind of terrified as to how he looks. And then there's kind of this van that's just kind of glancing off to the side. He's just like, it's kind of like he doesn't really care what's going on. He's just kind of watching it unfold. But it's always fun to see how people tackle the van's expression, because getting everything else right is, I'd say, on the easier side. I'm not saying painting any of this is easy by any means, because I certainly couldn't do it. But I always like to see people's different interpretations of the face and how they are similar and how they differ. So that's really kind of the history of this truck. It's very surprising that Fred Pelhay got a wooden railway toy after him, and this guy didn't. Because they're in the exact same picture, they kind of serve the exact same purpose. And if that aqua teal truck is indeed rickety, well then it's like the three out of the four main trucks that you see in this one picture all got pieces of merchandise, and this guy got left out. But anyway, this is a pretty simple custom. Underneath here just says ULP, signed by TurtlesAndThomas. And so based on how the Learning Curve brand's line here is printed out, I don't see that Turtles has painted over the bottom here, so I'm guessing that this was just a flat blank baggage car type of truck, where basically there wasn't any design on the side here. It was just raw unfinished wood that later became very popular, so popular in fact that they turned it into Thomas and Friends wood. But basically this model didn't used to be anything. It was just plain, and TurtlesAndThomas came along and painted it up all nice. So on the side here we have the letters ULP, which apparently stand for something. Nobody really knows what it stands for, but if you guys want to, feel free to leave your suggestions in the comments below as to what you think this means. Off the top of my head, I want to say maybe the L stands for limited, because that's always something that gets thrown around in titles, and maybe like, I don't know, productions for the P. But anyway, you know, obviously keep it very civil in the comments. But if you guys have any fun ideas as to what this acronym could stand for, let me know. So here is the face, and TurtlesAndThomas did a great job with the face. I love how he did this. The truck in the picture is looking this way. So Fred's right in front of him, Scruffy's over here, Rickety I say is right here, and then Oliver and Duck are in the back here. So in the famous picture, the ULP truck's looking like this. I'd actually say, if you go and take a look at that picture and compare it to the wooden railway model in front of you, I would say that the expression on the truck here is a little bit more, I'd say, melancholy than the picture in the Railway series. The picture in the Railway series, he kind of just looks like he's thinking about something else. He's just like, oh, these engines are talking to each other and they might be having a fight. Whereas the truck here, if I were to place him in that same situation, the expression I gather here is that, oh, he's a little bit worried as to what's going on. You know, he doesn't want to see his friend Scruffy get torn to pieces, and he doesn't want the engines bullying, you know, the trucks and everything. So I actually say there's a little bit more at stake with this version of the ULP van than the one from the Railway series, and I really like that. But as always, you know, his expression and what he's thinking has always been up to interpretation, which is fun to kind of hypothesize about. And then on the other side, it's the exact same thing. It looks like a bit of the paint chipped off there, just a tiny bit. I don't know, that actually maybe from another project that Turtles and Thomas was working on. I actually didn't even notice that till right now. I've had this in my possession for quite some time now, and I just noticed that. So yeah, underneath, ULP by Turtles and Thomas. And guys, that's really it. I mean, I wish there was more to say, but you know, I don't have anything to compare it to. I guess we can just kind of hypothesize and ponder about what ULP stands for. I don't know, we could call this the ULP truck. Maybe his name is ULP. Maybe he is like Scruffy, you know, where his name's spelled out on the side, or maybe like Fred Pelhay. ULP is a bit of a strange name, however, but I always thought it was very fun when different Thomas Wooden Railway YouTubers, or even just other people in the fandom, started making customs of this guy, because he is very recognizable. I mean, your eye immediately goes to this guy in the picture versus, you know, Scruffy or even Fred. You know, Scruffy's in front, but he's all black and he just kind of blends in, and Fred is a little bit covered, and he's kind of upstaged by the ULP van that's right behind him. So this is kind of a classic custom Thomas Wooden Railway character. A lot of different people have made this guy. Some people are doing the more popular strategy of just printing out the side here and then maybe taping it, or, you know, some way gluing it, somehow adhering it to the side of the van. Other people, you know, are taping and printing out the face or something like that. And speaking of the face, I just want to bring up something really, really interesting. Turtles and Thomas has made several customs for me. And it's funny because on these narrow gauge coaches that he made for me, he does the same type of face, but with the nose there, he uses like a cutout piece of paper. But with the ULP van, he decided to paint the face on, or draw it. And that just has me thinking, I wonder why Turtles and Thomas took the time to make that awkward triangle, looks kind of like a pyramid or a mountain, and drew that on versus kind of going his normal route. It's funny when you go watch the video of Turtles and Thomas's own video about the ULP van. I do believe it is kind of like a paper triangle. So if Turtles and Thomas happens to watch this video, maybe he'll leave some theories in the comments below. Honestly, he was just probably cranking these out one after another, because I was like, Turtles and Thomas, I have like 30 custom ideas and I need you to get them done for me. And he was like, okay. So he probably just flew through this thing. But one other thing I will briefly mention is that the front here, you may notice that the roof is curved. Turtles and Thomas explained this in his custom video. He also did it along with mine. But he ended up painting this part of the roof because the van, if you take a look at the picture, has kind of like a rounded front and back. And so instead of giving it like a square design, he decided to paint the top of the roof here the same color as the body. So a little bit of a fun fact. Unfortunately, Turtles did not provide me with any information about the paint color. All I'm guessing is that we're just looking at pink and red, and that actually looks kind of green, kind of gray, kind of green. But yes, I really love the face. I think it's open to interpretation. So guys, in the comments below, tell me what you guys think this guy's thinking. Tell me what you think of the face. Tell me what you think ULP stands for. I'm very open to hearing your suggestions, and maybe I will, well, I guess what it is, I guess you like comments now. You kind of put the heart next to them. So if a couple of them are funny or really creative, maybe I'll put the heart next to them so you guys can see them. As far as this guy goes in my Wooden Railway series, I love Troublesome Trucks. So this guy is going to be hanging out with a bunch of his friends, custom Troublesome Trucks or not. In my series, you may see him in the background, but I don't imagine him playing like a pivotal role in an episode or anything like that, unless it's like a movie based on the meaning of ULP here. Maybe it's Ulfstead Line Productions. I mean, that's what I'm kind of thinking. Ulfstead, the biggest U I can think of in the Thomas world is Ulfstead. Ulfstead Line. You know, I'm trying to figure out, I mean, the thing is the question is, what is this guy hauling? What does he normally carry around? You know, Scruffy's a ballast truck. Fred has coal. Rickety has ballast as well. But this guy, since he's like a van, we can't really see what's inside here. So what's the thought process? What is everybody else thinking he carries inside? Personally, I kind of pat myself on the back here. I think Ulfstead something is maybe the best way to go, because that's the most popular U I can think of in the Thomas and Friends universe. But anyway, I think I'm thinking way too much into this. I would love to hear your guys' theories below. This has been a really fun video. Big thanks to Turtles and Thomas once again for providing me with another awesome custom Thomas Wooden Railway model. Like I said, be sure to check out his video on the one he did a couple years ago, guys. It's really short, it's like 45 seconds, and then pop back over here and see how they compare and how they differ. But I think I'll leave this custom video at that. And guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. And be sure to leave your comments below, especially what you think ULP stands for, or anything, you know, anything else fun that you want to talk about. And I guess until the next video, this is Thomas Wooden Railway saying thanks for watching.